in such a way as to confuse and combobulate the brain. Right, new word that. Yeah, it is a word. Honestly. Right, so, what word is it? Okay, jump cross, he moves back. Lift, hop. Take in, T comes in, side step, boom, boom, right cross comes up, okay? So it's left, right, and you're using the left and right just to bring in the kick. Okay, it's a standard combination. You must have seen a jab cross kick. Yeah, it's just we're working it from the angle. Because you don't want to stay in the same place. It's quite common to see European Thai boxers, novice particularly, they just move up and down in like this, or they spin around each other like this. Okay, the good ones have actually used footwork, working the angles. Where this fits in with ring craft is obviously dependent on where the opponent is in the ring. You know, you want to get them on the ropes, you want to get them along the ropes so they can't move. You know, if somebody's trapped in the corner, they can't move as well as if they were in the middle of the ring or on the ropes. But your first option is to get them on the ropes as quickly as possible. So we're going to be using like this hopping tip here to drive them onto the ropes down here. Boom, they move on. I'm over the top. I'm driving them over towards the corner and I'm keeping them against the ropes. Whenever you're training with your partner, if you get into this habit of spinning around each other like this, just stop it. If your padman moves there to the left, and I said this yesterday, cut them off. If your padman moves that way, cut them off. If you're working pads, freestyle pads, if the padman moves that way, I'm going to kick him. Whether he's got the pads up there or not, I'm going to get him to move on my kicks. Have you noticed that about some fighters constantly move to the left all the time? Hit them. I'm sure some of you know this. Hit them. They move left, you know they're going to go left. Brilliant. Oh, walk onto my punch, don't you? You know, if Ross kicks me, if we were sparring in the ring and Ross kicks me, and I do that as he's kicking me, boom, that doesn't score. That will not score. Because it's not seen as an effective technique. If on the other hand, he flicks his hand, a hook at me there, I move that way, and then he kicks me, boom, that scores. That would be a good scoring technique because he set me up. That shows the technical skill of the boxer. That's another thing about ring. This is partly ring craft. Setting the opponent up to hit them correctly. But if you're training, when you're doing freestyle pads, see if you can make the padman move onto those techniques. You might throw a punch here and he moves off that way and you throw a kick as he walks onto it. Or you get him to move forward by slipping aside and then you're going to drive it into the pad. That's skillful ring craft. You're influencing the padman. That's what you want to do. You want to influence the boxer so that they move on to your techniques. That way you can knock them out, or you can knock them down, or at the very least score points. But bear in mind, if you're kicking someone and constantly moves away, stop kicking that side, kick that side. You're going to move on with it. Okay? Common sense, isn't it? So get back to this combination, right? Well, 1, 2. He moves back because you heard it or whatever. Hop, tip here. Tip comes in, jab, cross roundhouse kick. You're not going to throw any significant power in the right cross, so you don't have to worry about getting the pad up for that. Don't worry about it. If it goes into fresh air, that's fine. Okay? But it's just to set up that kick. You'll notice I've gone to this side of the opponent again. So I'm keeping him moving. And of course, if he sees that as a habit that I'm doing in the fight, what's he going to do? He's going to move that way, isn't he? Oh, brilliant! Thank you very much. So again, you're setting him up. Even if he knows what you're doing, and he thinks I'm going to stop that, and he moves that way, he walks on to whatever technique you want. If you're too close, put a knee in. Okay? Okay, off you go. Okay? Here, yeah? This foot you go flat. What some of you are doing is that, which is really bad for balance for a jumping kick, okay? It should be here, okay? Either with the guard up or with the guard in this position. This is personal preference. I'll just say one thing, if you're against a good boxer, if I was fighting a good boxer, I'd just keep my guard up as I threw it. Having said that, Talan Pinson-Chai does it like this. And so of Chai does it as well, like this, okay? If you're comfortable with doing it like that, that's fine. Okay? But with regards to footwork, okay, the foot goes flat as you lift the knee. It goes flat, you lift the knee, then you hop from there. Okay, so you're actually hopping and kicking at the same time. And put a slight twist in the hip. Here, because that gives you a little bit more extension. Okay, that's important. Particularly with this kick, it's a long range technique. Alright? So, you understand that? Hop this way and land flat footed. When you're throwing around this kick, you step on the ball with the foot. There you go, contradicting himself already. Okay? Okay, swap the pads over, carry on. Yeah. Right, I'll tell you what might be interesting. There's, we're going to do part of the session a bit like a mini fighters class. Okay? It's not demanding. Well, it would be if I did it properly. But it'll give you a little bit of insight and give Pat a little bit of insight into how I run fighters classes. Very similar to the way they do them in Thailand. So what we're going to do, we're going to allocate, there's only 4 stations, so we'll get through this fairly quickly. I'm going to give specific things to do on each station, alright? If there's a few more, we'll have a few conditions. Well, we can start actually, we'll have a conditioning section. What I want to do is, this station here, can we just one of those pads? Right. Now, you get on the floor, on your back, and hold the ankles. Turn around. Yeah, just go like that. You've been to Thailand, haven't you? Have you done this exercise? Stomach? Yeah, stomach shins. Yeah. Ah, it's alright.
No, we haven't.
You haven't?
No, they don't know what you're talking about.
Right, put your legs out straight, off the floor, slightly, that's it. I'm going to hit you there, swing your legs up, keep them straight, swing them up straight, that's it. Okay, that's that station.
Now, have you done that?
Okay, well done. Right, so that's that station. Right, can you see anything to stop it? Exactly, mate. Right, this station. Left tee, okay, left tee, right roundhouse kick, attack me jab cross, move, yeah, roundhouse kick. When you're working pad stations, don't keep them linear. Move around each other and get the pad man always to attack you. Okay, so you got that one? Right, you just need to remember that, right? This station, this is pretty straightforward actually. We're going to start with pads in this position here. I'll start with this one here. Right, we've got one there. Okay, you're going to move in. It's as if the opponent's coming to clinch. Left uppercut. Always a good defence against clinch. Left uppercut here. Swing to my head. Duck over the top. Right cross. Okay? Hold down, reach over, double right knee. Okay? So again, you don't have to remember this because the pad man just remembers them and passes them to the next person that comes. Uppercut, swing, cross, okay, reach, pull this pad down as if you're grabbing their arm, knee, push, knee, okay? That's that one. This one, take these off, right, and we'll do the boxing pads now. Are these somebody's? Oh, look at that, that's it, okay. All I want in this station, in fact, I'll show you. Okay, you just call the shots. Yes, nice easy stations, because I don't want to get too exhausted. You're just going to call the shots, so it's jab, jab, double jab, jab cross, double jab, double jab, double jab, jab cross, jab. Okay? Like so. Fairly straightforward, this station. Now, when I say stop, you're going to stop. And I'll give you an exercise, and you do an exercise. And then you're going to move on to the next station. The pad man gives the pad to the person who's just been hitting it and moves on to the next station. So whoever's got the pads at the moment, moves on to the next station. Yeah?
Like become the pad man.
So you become, yeah, he gives the pads to you, you become the pad man, he moves on. Alright? And then you move on like so. You got that? Okay. Here we go. Sometimes as well, of course, we'll have a sparring station in here as well.
How long's your round?
A normal round is 5 minutes. Okay. Alright, that's what we normally do. And occasionally, I might be a complete and absolute bastard and say, sprint! So for 10 seconds, they'll speed one of the parts of that technique up. So if it's jab, you just be doing that for 10 seconds. Okay? If you're in the process of a knee, just keep the knees going. Yeah, in the process of a kick, just keep the kick going for 10 seconds. And I'll say, ease off, and then I'll ease off and go back into the routine. Yes?
Do you always do 5 minutes, or if somebody's fighting to a certain
time constraint to 3 or 5 rounds, do you then change around? Or do you always just keep it to 5 minutes?
Sometimes I'll go up to 7. It's purely about keeping them going. There's no break at all. We do this on a Monday and a Wednesday night at my gym, and we do it for an hour and a half.